Angels in the Snow is a pretty enjoyable film. There's one scene that turned it from a pretty good film to a great film, but it is a spoiler, so I will save that for the end. The film was released in 2015. It was directed by George Erschbamer and written by Julie Brazier, based on the novel by Rexanne Becnel. And I've never read the novel. If you have read it and have any thoughts on how it compares, please feel free to share that information. This stars Kristy Swanson and Chris Potter as Judith and Charles Montgomery, and they are going to this cabin with their children for Christmas, and the family's not getting on very well, mostly because of the father. He's a bit of a workaholic. He doesn't put his family first. He tries to, but he never quite gets it right. So there's a bit of tension, and there's also a blizzard, a really bad snowstorm outside, and this family knocks on their door in the middle of the night to try and, well, get some help. And of course, the Montgomery family welcome the Tucker family in, and it's all about them spending time together. And there's a really moving, kind of emotional moment where they're all going around the table saying what they're thankful for or what they hope for in the new year. And the little girl, the youngest child in the family, she says that she's thankful that they got to spend time with a family who really love each other. And that's basically telling about the Montgomery family and how they treat each other versus how we observe the Tucker family treating each other. And there are definitely a lot of things to learn from the Tucker family. The siblings get on well, the parents aren't always bickering, they listen to each other, they appreciate each other, and not just the father in the Montgomery family, but everybody has to take the opportunity to actually look at how they're treating each other and what role they play in the family. And I think this is something that a lot of people can benefit from. In fact, anybody can benefit from this, even if it just encourages them to look at the role they play within their family, whether that's blood relatives or a family you've married into. Are you doing your best? Are you the best family member that you can be? And if somebody in the family isn't their best, maybe this film can encourage them to talk about it. So I think it's a beautiful message, and there is a little bit of comedy here and there, but generally not too much. It's more of a heartfelt, very moving film. It's a little bit slow at times, because not much happens when you're stuck inside a cabin. It tries to be dramatic every now and then, and I honestly feel like it didn't need to be. It didn't need to kind of focus on the storm too much. Occasionally the weather will get worse and it will give us a bit of drama. That's obviously there to keep the narrative moving forward, but I feel like those scenes, for me at least, weren't that interesting. I was more focused on the families and how they interacted with each other. Those are the bits I found the most interesting. And it is a very, very sweet, very moving, thought-provoking, heartwarming film. The house is decorated for Christmas. It does have a nice, cozy, festive family feel to it. And I rather enjoyed it, and I absolutely recommend it. So the scene now, I'm going to discuss the scene that turned it from a good film into a great film. But this is a huge, giant spoiler. So please don't listen to me from now. If you haven't seen the film, I thoroughly recommend you check it out first. So, huge spoiler from now. The scene in question is, of course, the scene where the Montgomery family go outside and they realise that the Tucker family were in a tragic accident in the snowstorm and they sadly died. This was before the Tucker family knocked on their door. And we realised then that actually they were angels. They died already and they were there as angels to help the family. Now, I, as a spiritualist, believe that people don't become angels when they die, but they become spirits. But even with that belief, it didn't affect my enjoyment in that moment of realising just how powerful that reveal was. And we actually get little flashbacks to things in the film, little moments where tiny hints were dropped that was the case. Not hints you'd pick up on unless you knew to look for them, but with hindsight, it was clear to see those little suggestions that actually maybe they were dead, maybe they were spirits or angels, or however you want to look at it. And I found that to be really moving and a part of the narrative I hadn't expected. It did. It turned a moving, thought-provoking, good film into a great narrative, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Angels in the Snow is a delightful, heartwarming film and one that I thoroughly enjoyed.